here's what we've got. We've got part 2, Freud. So it says the word aware, if you can read that. Sorry, this light might be in the way. I don't have much space here, but it says aware. So C represents the conscious mind. So it's what you are aware of. So it's what you do in your everyday life. It's the thoughts and the thoughts and the actions. So the things that you think about on a daily basis, what you need to do, how you need to respond to somebody, how you need to act. It's all in the conscious. And do you not think it's crazy how 10% in the conscious and the rest is in your subconscious? So we won't talk much about the conscious, you know what it is, but let's talk about the next bit, pre-conscious. So here, this is where your thoughts and memories. So, and a good example is, for example, somebody asks you, what's your number? And you can tell them what your number is. Or 1, da, 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 or 7, da, 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 or if you're in America, it'd be like +11, and then all the other numbers. You're not thinking about your number as you're going about your daily life, or else you'd be weird. It wouldn't make sense. But when you need to retrieve that information, it comes up into your conscious. That's your pre-conscious. This is your unconscious. So 6/7 apparently is in your unconscious. That's what you're unaware of. So basically these two form the subconscious. So you've got conscious and subconscious. Unconscious is past experiences. So these are things that are so deep in your mind that you probably never even tap into again. The only times you could tap into it is, for example, dream, which I've recently had a dream, and I kind of thought about, didn't think about it, it just came up in my mind, because I woke up at like 1 or 2 a.m. and something that was completely from my childhood that I never thought about many times again came up, and it was as an image. So a lot of images are stored in your unconscious. Images, dreams, very distant memories, and what your mind does. So here's this is the real stuff about your subconscious. The reason why you're unaware of this and this is not in your everyday thinking is because think of it as like all of this is a reservoir of thoughts, memories, past experiences, trauma, things that you don't really need to bring back up into your conscious because, well, for some scientists that are not for the Freudian psychology would say it is for efficiency, for the sake of efficiency. What did Freud say? He didn't say it was for the sake of efficiency. He said it was for the sake of repression. So we repress these thoughts in order to not think of it in our conscious, because if we didn't repress it, then we'd go insane. That's basically the premise of the subconscious and how it makes sense in Freudian terms. But I truly believe that if we could tap into our unconscious, or at least understand it more, in other people, you will understand why certain behaviors exist, why people behave a certain way, why you behave a certain way, why I behave a certain way. And I truly believe that this is one of the most important things that you could get your head around. And this is why I thought I'd make a video about it. Because let's be honest, when you actually decide to go into therapy, you are bringing up your subconscious. You're bringing up past trauma and past memories. And it is a very scary thing to do. And not many people do it. But the people that do it gain massive freedom, gain massive relief, and alleviate their stress in a sense. Because think about it, if you've got so much here in your subconscious, your pre-conscious, your unconscious, that you do not bring up at any time here, and you're consistently suppressing it, consistently repressing. So the words suppress and repress. Suppress is something that you forcefully do, but repress is something that you subconsciously do on an instinctual level. So a lot of this stuff here is your instincts. Your instincts are all here. So if we know that instincts are more powerful than conscious behavior, if you can declutter this part of your brain, this is my thesis, and I truly believe it to a massive extent because of the things that I've experienced in my life. If you can truly declutter this part of your brain and almost tap into it, and maybe somehow, you know, get therapy or do therapy on yourself, or read up about stuff and just be honest with yourself and be honest with your trauma and how you can truly grasp your own trauma and grasp who you truly are and become the person that you truly want to be, your conscious will be decluttered at the same time. And you can then operate on such a high level that other people will not comprehend, and they'll just look at you and they'll think, what's going on with this person? Why has he suddenly become so peaceful? Why has he suddenly become so, you know, like, he might not have all the money in the world, he might not have all the status in the world, but for some reason he's happy. For some reason he goes about his life and it's almost like he's got freedom and he doesn't have much baggage on him, and he's not carrying much on his shoulders. And for some reason, things come easier to him. And the reason is because he's dealt with some stuff here and he can easily tap into this if he needs to. And this part here does not bother him. So his brain is not constantly repressing and suppressing this garbage, quote unquote, which is actually not garbage, as you'll find out later in my videos. If he's constantly figuring out this part and his brain is not exerting so much energy to constantly repress and suppress it, then here he's operating on, maybe some people might be operating here on 1%. He's operating on 10, 20%. And suddenly life just becomes full of colour and full of happiness. And I truly believe this is what all the subconscious is about. All these people explaining subconscious, they miss the part that the reason why you want to understand your subconscious is not for this like crazy magical woo-woo rah-rah thing where it's like, I want to read people or read myself or talk to people from, from the grave or from people who have died. No, it's nothing about that. It's nothing mystical. It's actually very scientifical. It's very scientific, because once you understand that, your conscious mind will work and operate more clearly, and you will be able to find out who you are, number one. You'll be able to find out, number two, why your ego exists and how you can use it to your advantage. And number three, you will find out how you can use your trauma to your advantage, because a trauma, people see it from such a negative light, but actually, as I wrote in my notepad, which I'll get out right now, just give me a second. I wrote in my notepad after I had this crazy dream about my past. I wrote this. I think I said in my notepad, I said I put, whatever you obsess over is in fact a masked insecurity and oftentimes lead to something great. Your weakness becomes your superpower. So all of this here is supposedly your weakness, but the key to life, in my opinion, obviously, is to keep things balanced. But at the end of the day, you want your weakness to become your superpower, your insecurity to become something that drives you to create amazing results. For example, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he became the most profound bodybuilder, the person who got to the top and completely transformed an industry. And you think, why did he do it? Every time he'd go to bed, he'd look at posters on his wall next to his bed, and he'd turn off the light and just before he go to bed, he'll look at these posters of bodybuilders, of people that he imagined to be, and he's constantly thinking about what he could be. And maybe, I'm not saying this is true, and I've read his book, so it's probably true because I've just, put the parts together. Maybe that sometime in his life, Arnold Schwarzenegger, somebody said something to him, or something happened in his life where his insecurity became his body, where he thought, oh my, I'm gonna train my hardest and I'm gonna put so many hours into it to become bigger than everyone else, to have the best body ever. And then he saw it in a positive light. He saw other people that he could mimic. He met other people. He went on to competitions. He traveled to London. He traveled to see his mentors and his role models, and then suddenly he surpassed them, and then he became the greatest person in bodybuilding to exist. And still to this day, there is no one that has a similar body like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was the perfection of bodybuilding. He was the perfection of a great physique. And I just want this to be a little motivation for whoever's watching, that you can do things that you normally would not be able to even perceive of you doing something. You can do anything you want if you put your mind to it. And I truly believe that. And I don't believe that you can do anything you want if you put your mind to it, if you're not doing enough in your own life. Then what's the point? It's not going to work. But the point is this: because of the way we've been brought up and because of the way our subconscious is set up, I truly believe that our vulnerabilities, our insecurities, our false beliefs is stopping us from reaching our potential. It's stopping us from getting to this part where we can operate on a crazy level that other people cannot even perceive. And the reason why this 1% of people that have achieved amazing things have gone on to achieve it, I truly believe, is because they understood themselves. This all comes down to emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is something that you have, that you understand yourself completely and utterly, and you understand other people because you understand yourself. And these people understood themselves. They understood their insecurities. They understood who they want to be. They understood who they are, and they really understood this concept that you can achieve anything you want. You're unaware of this, but you can become aware of so many things if you just focus on your subconscious, which, if you really truly deep down you looked into it, you would realize there's so many things more here than here. That's why he came up with the iceberg effect, Sigmund Freud. And I would encourage you to read up on Sigmund Freud. He was a great psychologist who was so underrated. And yeah, people still use his psychology to this day. The only reason why a lot of people find it controversial is because it's very, very hard to measure this sort of science, this sort of psychology. It's hard to measure it, but there has been studies and it has proven to be true. The only thing that they kind of disagree on is the fact that, is it repression or is it the sake of efficiency? Which is semantics, in my opinion. It's the same, it's the similar thing. It all boils down to the same thing. Your brain is stopping these things from going up into your conscious as a coping mechanism and as a strategy to survive in this cruel world. But if you truly understood yourself, you truly understood your securities, and you made your weakness as a superpower, you don't need to worry about that. That's it. You've succeeded. You've achieved something that 99.9% of the world hasn't. And I want you guys to achieve that. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe, like this video, and just comment your ideas and your thoughts, and whatever you think you could bring to this community. I would appreciate that. Thanks, guys. See you on the next one.